Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. We had another great weekend of Bears baseball. A really powerful weekend. We're going to have a hacking time at the end of the show. I think we had like 9, 10, or maybe even 11 home runs in that hacking time that were sent in. So be sure to stick around for that to check out who is our hack of the week for this week. But some really good baseball in the field, Bernie. And I want to go ahead and start with 12U Birnstill. 4 straight weekends this team's made it to the championship game. Feels like, I think we're, on an 11-2 or 12-2 stretch over the last couple weeks, Bernie. What has kind of been the turn of the switch for this team? Where has this team gone from being a solid team trying to fight for 500 to now being this dominant championship game, inevitable type team?
Yeah, I've been saying the past couple weeks now, I think it's really came from, the guys from the middle of the bottom of the order stepping up. Basically ever since Rowan Damshaw, right? He became an all-star in May. He's been on a tear. Dowd Ismail's been good in the 6 hole. Trey's been good in the 7 hole. Even 8 and 9, right? We've been good all the way through the lineup. So I think the guys top you like Owen Lewis, Kale, Harrison, and Rudy are going to hit all the time. But when we can hit 5 through 9, we put up a ton of runs every game.
Yeah, 2 guys, KJ, who I think you were very high on preseason, Rudy Montenegro-Langley and Rowan Damshaw, I feel like have both been huge parts of why this Birnstill team has really taken a step forward. Both those guys, huge step forwards from them individually. So what is it about those 2 hitters, KJ, that you think has allowed them to find a really next level of success this season?
Yeah, I think for Rowan, it's always been, just finding consistency with his approach. I think in the BWL, he definitely had his highlights where he could really hit fastballs, but I think pitchers were giving him trouble, throwing him breaking balls that he was swinging at pitchers over his head, not even close. So it's always been there for him, just finding that consistency. And I think for Rudy, it was all about, reps. I know he started a little slow, but there was no doubt in any of our minds that he was going to, be this from all we talked about him in the winter.
Another championship weekend for Birnstill. Fantastic job from those guys. 14U Floyd also took home the championship this weekend in an undefeated weekend at GMB. KJ, I feel like for the last 18 months, the real strengths of this team has been the defense and the pitching, where the hitting has kind of been hit or miss. But this weekend, the boys absolutely came out to hit, crushed the baseball. I think we had something like 19 extra base hits as a team in 4 games from like 8 or 9 different guys. It was an absolute power surge. 3 guys I wanted to ask you about, KJ. Actually, I'll ask you about the first 2 and I'll ask Bernie about the last one. First of all, Parker Ells coming back off the injured list. Wasn't sure how he was going to look, but he's come out completely swinging. He had a great first weekend back. Logan Payne has taken that step forward from being a role player to now looks like he's arguably the best hitter on this team. And then I actually will give you a 3rd guy, Evan Lancaster. Feels like he's taken that step toward becoming a superstar type player. What is it about these 3 guys, KJ, again, taking that step forward? Feels like this 14U Floyd lineup has really started to come together. What have you seen from those 3 guys offensively?
Yeah, I think those are 3 guys who, on a lot of teams in St. Louis are probably the best player on the team. But, this team's just so loaded with so much talent. And, we talk about the strengths of this team is that everyone on the roster can, has the ability to hit a home run over the fence. Every guy in the roster has that ability to be a threat. And, I think they really showcased it this weekend.
Yeah, it was a powerhouse from top to bottom. Bernie, a guy that I know you've been on since he joined the Bears, Aaron Knoll, he was arguably the best hitter on this team this weekend. Bernie, we've always kind of known Aaron Knoll to be able to have these boom or busts. He'll go off for a crazy weekend and then maybe have a slow weekend, the next one. I would say Aaron's had maybe 1 slow weekend this season, but besides that, he's been pretty consistent and has had a couple of these monster weekends. Do you see a shift in Aaron Knoll's game, Bernie, or is this just something where, he's kind of been on the right side of the hot streak right now and he's going to cool off?
I guess you call it a hot streak, but I don't know if we've seen that cold side yet. I don't know if we're going to. This guy, I think you could say he's been hot since, the start of the season. And again, this guy's always been a Gold Glove defender. This guy pitched a little bit for them at the start of the year. The bats started to come around, and this is one of those guys that, when there's a big moment in a game, you want Aaron Knoll to play because he's going to come through nearly every time.
Yeah, in 4 games this weekend, Aaron Knoll had 4 triples and a home run. An absolute monster weekend with the bat. Led this team in OPS, a monster weekend. Then, from the pitching side, Bernie, it feels like, at least for me, this team doesn't really have an ace right now, but it's like they have 4 number 2s who all go out there and put up good outings. Bernie, between Lucas Wilburn, Lucas Velchek, Mason Geddes, and Evan Lancaster, who have you kind of decided as that guy to maybe step up and become the number 1, either based on recent performance, Bernie, or what you think is going to happen in the future?
Yeah, I think it's hard to argue against Mason Geddes because of his walk to strikeout rate. his ability to go up there and throw strikes, so many different pitches. But I think the answer right now has to be Lucas Wilburn. I think he's been the guy that's been kind of given that assignment since he's came back from high school baseball. I think he's got the first shot at it. Again, if Lucas gets the shot, I don't think he's going to blow it necessarily.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the two guys you didn't mention, Lucas Velchek has a strike rate over 60% right now. That's always kind of been the knock on him. And Evan Lancaster absolutely shoved in the championship game. I think 5 scoreless innings or maybe 5 innings of one-run ball in the championship. So this pitching staff is loaded. I would like to see somebody step up as kind of that ace of the rotation. But right now, I mean, it's hard to complain about what this pitching staff has put up. For the rest of this show, I wanted to go ahead and look at some of our youth hitters. And we have currently 18 hitters of our youth varsity teams that have an OPS plus over 100. That means that they're above average for their team. And I want to go ahead and look at the top 15 of these guys. And I want you to tell me, who are the surprises? Who do you see as kind of expected? Let's go ahead and start right at the top here. Our top 5 OPS pluses, in my opinion, the top 5 hitters in the youth right now, ZZ Garcia, Harrison Blebaum. I think nobody can doubt those two guys being surprises. I think both those guys are definitely locked in as top 2. And then Matthew Hume, Cooper Woolen, and Rudy Montenegro Langley, who I think all 3 could be kind of surprises there. KJ, I know Cooper Woolen, I think you were the most adamant about preseason. He's got the number 4 OPS plus in the Bears right now. He has an extra base hit rate around 20%. How did you see this extra base or this breakout coming, KJ? And has the extra base hit rate been kind of a surprise to you, or did you expect this from Cooper Woolen?
Yeah, I think this winter was the first time Coop really dedicated himself to free swing, and he had a monster winter. And I think what really stuck out to me in the winter, and what really showed me that this guy is going to be a big threat in the lineup, is his exit velocity is I think second on the team, maybe first. He's at the top of the team in exit velocity, and I think he really bought in this offseason, is swinging hard. He's not worrying about striking out. He's not even worried about getting out. He's just thinking, how far am I going to hit this ball? And, Coop's taking big strides.
Bernie, these other two guys, in number 3 and number 5, Matthew Hume and Rudy Montenegro Langley, I feel like are polar opposites. Matthew Hume was a guy who had a great year last year, and I think there were some questions, could he repeat it? And Rudy Montenegro Langley obviously is an up-and-comer, never really played like this, and he's a top 5 hitter in the Bears right now. Bernie, between these two guys, what has been your thoughts between Matthew Hume and Rudy Montenegro Langley? Are you surprised by either one of them? Do you think either one of them maybe even has a higher ceiling? What are your thoughts about these two guys right now?
Yeah, Matthew Hume, I think is going to be around, top, 5 or 6 in the Bears for, years to come. This guy, I think, is just as consistent as it gets. He doesn't strike out very often. He's never going to get 2 swings up there. He's going to take 3 hacks every single plate appearance is up there. And this guy swings very hard. With Rudy, this guy could definitely be, even higher on this list in the near future. Like I said before on the show, I think people forget that Rudy batted, 200 last year with like a 400 on base. He batted, in a 7-hole on my 12U team. But this kid works very hard, and I think that you talk about just power upside, he could definitely end up being, 1 or 2 on this list eventually.
Yeah, really, really impressive start by those 5 guys. Arguably the best 5 hitters of our youth teams right now. The next 5 in the 6 through 10, Lucas Closter, Logan Payne, Aaron Knoll, Evan Lancaster, and Diego Buccio. Bernie, I want to start with Lucas Closter. Right now there's only 4 guys on our youth varsity team who have an extra base hit rate over 20%. ZZ, Harrison, Rudy, and Lucas Closter. I mean, this guy, we've known he has the power, but it feels like he's really starting to put together the rest of his game. I'm going to kind of ask you the same thing I said about Aaron. Do you see this as kind of just a hot stretch for Lucas and he's going to cool down? Or do you think he's kind of broken out into that star-level player?
Yeah, it's another guy I think who kind of started a little bit slower than, I would have liked, but I think he's really heated up over the past month or so. I mean, if you want to call it a hot streak, that's fine. But he really has not had a bad weekend probably since the second weekend of the season. So I think this is just Lucas Closter breaking out into that next tier of player.
KJ, between Logan Payne, Aaron Knoll, Evan Lancaster, and Diego Buccio, which of those 4 guys do you think has the highest ceiling to kind of break into the top 5 at some point this season?
Yeah, I think it's inevitable what this guy's doing right now. Logan Payne, he's just been a unbelievable hitter all season long, and I think we've always kind of talked about the potential this guy's had. And waiting for him to break out, and this year's really been his huge break, and I think he's exceeded, our high expectations for him. So, who's to say he can't even be better than this?
Our 11 through 15 here at OPS Plus, we have Cale Taylor, Owen Haynes, Carson Griffith, Owen Lewis, and Trevor Anderson. KJ, between these 5, who's kind of the most surprising for you? I mean, obviously we're into the top 15 now. Is there anybody here who you kind of didn't expect to be a top 15 hitter at this point?
I'd say Carson Griffith, another guy who, this is his first year being in free swing that he's played, and he's taken, obviously, big strides from it. I think he saw guys like Coop who got in it, started hitting good, and he gets in there, and he's been a really good player, and he's kind of changed a lot of people's perception about him.
Bernie, between the other four, Cale Taylor, Owen Haynes, Owen Lewis, and Trevor Anderson, which of these four do you say would have the highest ceiling going forward?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Trevor Anderson. I think it's a guy that, like we said before on the show, he got his kind of first big shot this year. He's taking advantage of some great stats, but another guy that's very projectable, very big, has a lot of power at his bat. I think that just as I keep seeing more chances, he's going to keep proving them right.
Speaking of power in the bat, we had a lot of extra base hits from the last couple of weekends. We've got doubles, we've got triples, and we've got a whole lot of homers. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. Attack.
My heart cave in. I got my scars. I've been to hell and back again. Born for the blue skies, we'll survive the rain. Born for the sunrise, we'll survive the pain. We're singing, hey, you can't count us out. We've been running up against the crowd. Yeah, we're the dark horses. We're singing, wait, it's not over now. We've been down, but we've never been out. Yeah, we're the dark horses. honeysuckle phonies. Then they celebrate my medals or they wanna take my trophies. Some are loyal soldiers while these other thorns are rosy. And if you never know who you can trust, then trust me, you'll be lonely. Oh, are you ready for the sequel? Ain't ready for the latest? In the garden of evil, I'm gonna be the greatest. In a golden cathedral, I'll be praying for the faithless. And if you lose, boo-hoo. Hey, look, ma, I made it. Hey, look, ma, I made it. Everything's coming up aces, aces. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said, hey, look, ma, I made it, I made it. I said, hey, look, ma, I made it, I made it. I see it, I want it, I take it, take it. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said, hey, look, ma, I made it. Mama, best believe it. Mama, best believe it. Think I must be dreaming. What a waking dream. Mama, best believe it. Mama, best believe it. Think I must be dreaming. Hey, look, ma, I made it.
There it goes. There it goes. Come on, boys. Burn.